Welcome back, YouTube. Another video yet again. Wow. Wow. Anyway, back from holiday. It's Monday the 4th of November. Back to routine. I'll tell you what, I have missed my air fryer. You don't realise how much you use them until you have to use an oven. Anyway, this is going to be quite a short one today, he says. But I'm going for a blood test today from Medichecks. Essentially because very big decision, but I've started to consider it a lot more frequently and regularly. But I will be going to the assisted side. I will be running tests and TRT. So I just thought I'd get my bloods done. Obviously joking. God, what do you think I am? Anyway, it is not for that reason, of course. But it is for a general, I think, what's the name of it? I think it's just like a general health MOT. I've always wanted to do it, and I thought this would be the best time to do it during this more serious bodybuilding prep, I guess. So I just wanted to see what's going on internally. Like, you always get the, markers from your scale weight and body fat percentage and this, that, and the other, but you never actually know what's going on inside. Obviously, you might have blood tests at the doctors every now and then, but this is a very in-depth analysis, and I think gives you 58 markers. So, thyroid, testosterone, a multitude of markers, which are obviously going to be very beneficial to see what's going on. And there's obviously things that you can do to implement if maybe testosterone is on the lower side. So yeah, I'm gonna get them checked today at 11 o'clock in Hull. It's called Gosh Medical Group who do it. So yeah, that's at 11 o'clock, and I'm not going to lie, I never used to have issues with needles, or blood for that matter, but this year I went for some PRP treatment. Obviously, I don't know if you know, but I had a hair transplant 6-7 years ago now, and PRP is essentially plasma-rich platelets, which they essentially extract plasma from your blood, stick it in a centrifuge and inject it into the top of your head to make your hair a bit thicker, because my hair is was, probably still is, a little bit sparse, bit fine, as you can maybe see. So it was just to try and thicken it a little bit more and regrow and stop any kind of additional hair falling out. Anyway, that's not the story. The story is you have to get your bloods taken, and it was once every 4 weeks for about 3 or 4 months. And the last time that I went, I'm not a huge fan of needles. I know it's a little bit childish, but the last time that I went, had it done, I was like, I feel a little bit faint here to the woman, and the man was there, and another man was there as well, because they were like filming some stuff. I was like, oh, here we go. I don't know if it was because 3 people were watching. I don't know if it's just because I'm a big girl. Don't know if I can say that on YouTube. But yeah, I felt really faint. They had to lie me down. I was like, whoa, my head was spinning. So the guy had to go, the owner of the place had to go to a shop, get me a Mars bar and a Lucozade, just to try and get me kind of blood sugar back up. Anyway, long story short, now I've got a little bit of a small fear of needles and blood. So fingers crossed it goes all right. Big operation going down. But yeah, I'm hopefully going to be able to train straight after it. There's people probably laughing now, but I'm going to train straight after it. Whatever happens, I have to drag myself there, because I'm fired up for the gym this week. I think having a little bit of time away, albeit 3 days, and still got all my training done last week, it's just got me into the mindset where I'm ready to go now. I had my checking off AJ this morning as well, and slight change in phases now. So obviously the diet was meant to be starting in December, early December, but due to the way that things are going and how good things are going, more than anything, not really gaining too much body fat, body composition's in a good place, still seem to be building, a good amount of muscle. We've kind of decided that we're not going to need as long in prep. So that being said, it means that prep is now going to start in January, which isn't a bad thing, because I was not getting stressed as such, but I thought Christmas is going to be a little bit of a pain in the arse this year, having to do cardio, being a little bit more selective with foods and stuff, whereas with it being the last month of building now in December, I can probably have a little bit more flexibility and not have to worry too much. And then obviously it's going to give us a good run January through to May. So my date's actually, the first show that I'm doing, the date got announced on Saturday. which is exciting. It's going to be the 25th of May for the UK DFBA Heart of England, Heart of Britain, I think, something like that. In obviously naturals. So that's exciting. I think that gives me a bit more excitement as well, knowing I've got a date for the first show. So that's really good. So yeah, that was quite good news on the check-in this morning, that the diet is starting a bit later now. So yeah, happy days. So yeah, that's a little bit of an update from me. I'm going to take you with me for the bloods. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to film in there. I don't know if it's worthwhile filming in there. It's a blood test. Excuse me, doctor, do you mind if I film this and put it on YouTube? That's maybe one thing that I need to get better with, because I feel like some people would like to see that. But then I always think, in my head, the doctor who's taking the blood, or nurse, or whoever it is, they're going to think, mate, what the fuck? It's a blood test. You don't need to film this. But then I just want to show a bit more of my life. I want to show you a bit more what's going on inside. So I might try and, I'm not going to sneakily hide and film. I'll just have to ask them straight up. I'll see if I get the confidence to do it when I get there. But yeah, quick update. We're back. Full steam ahead. Pushing arms today. Hopefully the elbows, touch wood, are feeling a little bit better. But we'll soon see after we do the first exercise. But yeah, that is an update from myself. Breakfast time. So we are just off for the big operation.
Kieran Evans.
This might be the last time you will see me, unfortunately, as blood tests and myself do not have a good history. Only joking, it'll be fine, right? Let's see what we can do. So it's only in Chester, to be fair, just doing Hull, so it's about 10 minutes away, which is ideal. So yeah, I'm just gonna go get the bloods. Might try and film inside if I can, but if not, I'll see you post surgery and let you know how it goes. But yeah, just another thing actually before we end this clip, and while I'm driving there, I thought I'd touch on the subject of the assisted side and steroids in general, because I've had a lot of people over the years ask me, would you ever do them? Would you ever, jump on a cycle? And the honest answer and straight up is no. Trust me, I would love to. I'd love to see. I think obviously how kind of structured and routine I am as it is, from day to day, with my foods, with my training, with everything, I would be a good candidate to do it. I feel like a lot of people who I know as well, they jump on gear without having everything else in place first, and they see it as this kind of shortcut to gains, and it's simply not. That's not the case. You have to already be in a very disciplined routine with everything. I think if people are jumping on gear without having pushed themselves to their natural limit first, they can't really. I can't see them justifying it personally. Again, this is my personal opinion, and everyone's got the right to their own opinion, and I've got nothing against the people that are on gear. I think if you were to do it, I think you need, in my opinion, to have some form of aspiration or goal to compete at some point. I think if you're jumping on gear, I'm talking about people in their teens, early 20s, mid 20s, and they don't really need that extra push just yet. It's different for older people, 35 onwards, when testosterone naturally starts to diminish, because things like TRT and just test, I think, is deemed acceptable. If testosterone levels are low and it's something that you want to do to bump them up, then by all means, I'm here for that. But when you see lads, in their 20s who maybe haven't reached their natural potential first, and then just jumping on cycle, I'm a firm believer that the risks and the health implications that come with it, and everyone's got the same thing. Yes, I get my bloods done, I'm making sure everything's in good check, but you don't know the long-term downsides to it, and this is something that would always scare me. I'm 27 now. I'm probably in a good place from a testosterone level standpoint, he thinks, hence why I'm going for my bloods today. And I want to have kids at some point, so for me to then potentially jeopardise that, it's just definitely not worth the risk at this age. something that I might, TRT or something like that, I may dabble in after I've had kids and I'm in my maybe like 40s and testosterone isn't as high as it used to be. Maybe, and that's still a maybe. But at this point in life, and for the foreseeable, no, I would never jump on gear purely down to the fact that, I've built a lot of muscle in the past 4 months with everything being down to the T. So it just goes to show that people often jump on it for this kind of quick, instant result, like they do with anything in life. They just want quick, instant kind of gratitude. And, I say a lot, don't I? It's not always about that. Get yourself in a good place first. Get your sleep in a good place. Get your foods in a good place. Get your training, get your recovery in a good place. If you're not building as much muscle as you'd like, and you've been doing it for maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years, then by all means, and you have, thoughts of competing, it's definitely something that a lot of people will consider. But I think for the majority of people, and people that are on it and don't tick all them other boxes, typically they look shit. You can tell who's on gear and who's not just by the look of the physique and the freshness of the physique as well. So that is my honest opinion on gear. I'm not for it and I'm not against it. I think it just needs to be done with the right approach, and it needs to be done with the right goals at mind as well. Far too many people are jumping on it just to look big for Instagram or just to feel big, in the gym. But personally, I don't think the health implications that may potentially come with it are worth it. And that's just my opinion. If you don't like it, we've arrived, and it's called Pro Health, just off Hull Roundabout in Chester, if you know it. And first things first, this car park is stacked. Discovery, Audi R8, Porsche. Must be a little bit of money in this place.
Okay, pop your hand just a little bit like that, that's great.
How long have you been working here for?
I was here pre-COVID, but
Yeah.
Shucks, there we go. Little scratch coming out. But blood test wise, do you know what we do loads of now? Is like young people like yourself, young fit people who just want to get an idea of where the bloods are. We get lots of people from local gyms to come in. Their trainers often send them down.
Yeah.
Get this level done, get that checked, get your B12 checked. Often you guys are like your health coaches as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I think that's why I think with clients possibly feel a bit more tired, and we've looked at every variable possible, sleep and stress, and it's just good to know a little bit more, I think, behind it. I think if I get mine done, it's going to be...
Yeah, it's good. Press on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to check. It's good to check. I think it's something now that we do it is preventative, as opposed to wait for a reaction. Wait for something to completely hit rock bottom.
I think things like ManyChecks and other companies.
Yeah.
Is it relatively new though, kind of?
Well, a lot of these came up post-COVID because they were all doing PCR checks, and then suddenly they have all these labs and work left, and they don't know what to do with it. So I noticed a lot of these companies have changed into health check companies, which is good. For hormones, that's a big one. So whether it be guys in the gym, vitamins and minerals is another one. People are very keen to know whether their nutrition is making a difference. So we get a lot of work like that to see how that goes. All really good stuff, because GPs are so busy. It's difficult to go and do a vitamin check on someone when you've got 5 people with serious medical conditions going on.
I think with ManyChecks as well, so they can give you feedback in regards to what you can do to change certain things, whereas I think your GP might not be able to necessarily go into that much depth.
Yes and no. So there is some advantage of having it with a doctor, because I think the doctor can tailor what tests you want, whereas with ManyChecks you're particularly picking which ones you want. But if you get good advice, then they tend to do sort of panels at ManyChecks, which makes it useful. I think that's helpful. And though you get advice afterwards, you get like a report. When I've looked at them, they do look quite standardised. So they don't look like that's really been tailored exactly to you. They look like the same report's been kind of given out for everything at the same level. But it still gives you a really good indication. And I think for the price, you're not paying a consultation fee, you're just paying a blood fee. So at least you're getting some advice on what's going on to see how that goes. Right, so you have everything here.
Well, that was a piece of piss. All done. In and out. 5 minutes. And I even got a sticker and a lollipop because I was so well behaved. Obviously joking. But no, it was pretty good. Yeah, like I say, I think the PRP that I went for in May, they obviously take quite a bit more blood, whereas a blood test was pretty straightforward. But yeah, that was straightforward, and now I've just got to go post this in a post box right away so it can get sent off today while the blood is still fresh. And pricing wise for this, I think this is an optimal health test, which, like I say, it covers 50 plus biomarkers. As you can hear from what the doctor just said then, I think they are typically quite standardized across the board, so I'm not sure how kind of accurate they'll be, but again, it's a rough something I'm trying to say. What was I saying then? But yeah, I think it's good to know what's going on inside. And I think, like I said to the guy then, I can't remember if this was on video or not, but obviously with coaching clients, and you know, when people are feeling so tired and worn out, and we've kind of gone through every variable that could be possible, such as sleep and stress management and hydration, and you know, everything that we could possibly check. So I think it's good for me as a coach to get my bloods done, so then I could, you know, potentially point and direct people in that kind of similar path as well. So yeah, just gonna go post this off. This was like I say, it was the optimal health test, so it was £230. It's £200, but then you have to pay £30 to get it done at a local place that does it. So yeah, £230, and I think a lot of people would see that as, I'm not paying 230 quid, but at the end of the day, it is your health. And if something comes up on here that I'm deficient in iron or something, whatever it might be, a simple change might improve my general life. So, and it might catch things early as well. So very important to get things like this done, and I definitely will get them done a lot more regularly, maybe twice a year or something like that. But yeah, off to find a post box. Well, that was a lot closer than I expected. Just double check I don't need to do anything else with it. But she just pulls straight out the car park, then there's a post box here, after him telling me there's not one for at least a mile. See you in a bit. Pushing arms day, baby. I've said this on this week's Instagram video, that when you're doing any exercise, and for example this machine lateral raise, I'm holding knees gripped because it feels better for me. If it feels better for you, or if something works a certain way and it gives you an advantage, then go for it. You don't have to justify why you're doing a certain thing. So first up, I've had a slight change in exercise selection due to the biceps normally being at the start of the session, but obviously with the elbow pain it normally triggers it for the rest of the session. So I've changed things around slightly, put my kind of shoulder and chest movements at the start and then biceps at the end, so hopefully it won't interfere with the rest of the session. So first exercise, machine lateral raise, rep range 10 to 20 on this one, and again using knees because it feels nice. Hopefully let's get around, I'm going to predict 13 reps on this. I think that was 16. Heavier weight. Higher up from last time as well. We'll take that. Good start. If you have a look over there, there's a men's physique pro. Yeah. This is normally an exercise that absolutely kills, so I'm going to try out a new variation of it with some cuffs to see how we get on. Can't get out in. You can pull this off. That's it.
You'll learn that as like the more you start to do it, you'll realise I'm not that way in place. It sounds like
That's reassuring me. It looks fucking sick. What a session that was. As you can see, I don't know how much you could hear me in the gym because it was quite loud again, and this mic isn't the best when it is in a loud environment, but just a very productive session. I feel like obviously with last week's training and the elbows, I just had a very big smile on my face as I was leaving that gym because I thought, yeah, that was worked well. Changing the biceps from the start to the end, using the cuffs for the what was the D-grip kind of fly variation. What else did I change? And then changing the D-grip bicep curl at the end with the kind of back support. Oh, touch wood, there was no elbow pain at all during, after, or now. Now I've got back, so very successful session. Pushing arms, 1 ticked off to start the week. Not sure whether to wrap this up now or wait until the blood results come back, which will be in a few days. Who knows, but if this is the end of the video, make sure to subscribe. Welcome back, YouTube. This is still the same video, but I am in the future. And the blood test results are back, which is good. It took about, when was it, last Monday? And it is now Tuesday the 12th, so 8 days later. Not a bad turnaround, really. I think it said up to 2 weeks, so I've got them back within a week, which is good. But positive news, they've come back. I've got them up here, and it says positive legend, positive handsome, positive strong. Oh, this is actually just my my journal, my affirmations. Sorry. Anyway, on a serious note, I'll put the breakdown on the screen here so you can have a little look for yourself, but essentially everything's looking pretty good. The only real marker that kind of stood out was the protective HDL cholesterol was slightly on the lower side, so obviously this is important to keep in check more from a health risk standpoint more than anything. So, you know, like cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, strokes, etc. later on in life, or even not later on in life, but just general life. So that's really good to know. Obviously, you know, you can rectify this by making sure you are getting enough kind of fatty oils within your diet, you know, salmon, and obviously enough kind of omega-3 and things like this, you know, trout, tuna, mackerel, etc. But this is good to know because obviously I would not have had a clue that that was on the lower side of things. But this is something that can be, you know, easily fixed, and it's just simply a case of upping my dosage in regards to my omega-3. At the minute, I do take, obviously, fishy oils in the morning, omega-3, but I think the strength of them isn't as high as what I've had in the past. So essentially what I'm going to do is just double down on the dosage per day until I've run out of this, what's the brand? It doesn't matter what the brand is, but until I've run out of this tub. And then I'll just simply buy a higher strength omega-3 capsule and take that more frequently, essentially. So that's something that can be easily rectified. As you can see, from a hormone standpoint, testosterone's not bad. It's in the green, so obviously it gives you kind of a reading in regards to green, red, etc. So if anything's, you know, at risk or is good, it does give you a reading on that. But in regards to hormones, testosterone especially, it's 11.4 nanomole, which is on the lower side, but not deemed low, which is good. I think that's where I expected it to be. I didn't have a clue where it was going to be. But that's good. I think everything's good from a hormone standpoint. Thyroid's good, vitamins good, iron's good. Gout risk is quite high, and obviously this may be a big factor in regards to why my elbows and kind of scapular pain comes quite frequently, because this can be obviously be massively linked to things like arthritis, or at least early arthritis signs. So obviously we just need to keep an eye on that as well. I think this is going to be more keeping an eye on foods, but I don't really have too many. I think it's like the Henry VIII kind of rich man's diet, isn't it? Like red wine, alcohol consumption, and steaks and highly fatty processed foods and stuff like that. So that's obviously one to keep an eye on. But obviously I'm not drinking at the minute, so definitely need to keep an eye on that moving forward. It might just be more. Again, it can be like heavy training and stuff like that, and I think testosterone's on the lower side as well, because I did train legs the day before, and all these kind of things can affect your readings, and this is why they say to kind of get another test done, within 3 to 6 months, which I definitely will be doing. But apart from that, everything else is in a really good place, which is nice and reassuring to know. So definitely worth getting done. There's a few things on here that I wouldn't even have known about. There's no kind of signs that my kind of HDL was low. So I think that's very important to kind of keep an eye on, because now I know that I can simply rectify this just by upping my kind of omega-3 dosage per day. So very, very useful. Hopefully you found this YouTube interesting. I've just watched it back, and it's a good YouTube, this one. And I'm proud of myself for filming myself while I was getting my bloods done, because normally, not because I was getting my bloods done because I'm brave, but purely down to the fact asking someone in like a uncomfortable environment for me, can I film? But he was just like, yeah, fine, go for it, of course. And I think the thought of that on the way to the blood test, in my head it was like, he's gonna laugh, he's gonna go, you can't film in here. Film for what? Your YouTube with 82 subscribers? Don't be silly. But at the end of the day, you can't think like that, or else you'll never get anything done in life. So yeah, if that's one thing you can take from this YouTube, when you do have fear of something, jump with both feet and attack it. Anyway, that is the end of this YouTube finally. And yeah, I'll put the link in the bio for the MediChecks, because it is definitely something that is very useful, and it's something that you can maybe send to your coach, who can give you a bit more of an insight, or obviously they give you a doctor's report as well. So it's very, very useful, and they can literally tell you, on this kind of report here, low HDL can also be caused by supplements aimed at raising testosterone. I'm not on gear, guys, and I won't be going on gear, which is good. But it says flax, chia seeds, also good if you don't like fish, and it gives you kind of a list of foods that you can include to help get that kind of a cholesterol, back on the good side of things. So yeah, definitely useful, and I would definitely recommend getting your bloods done if you haven't had them done recently, because it is life-changing, literally. Anyway, remember to like, comment something cool, and also drop a subscribe. See you on the next one.